In 2025, the southern U.S. border is no longer just a boundary, but a symbol of resolve, controversy, and transformation. With new barriers, unprecedented militarization, and stringent immigration policies, the United States is reshaping its approach to national security. From declaring a 700-mile strip a military base, to stunning figures like a 95% reduction in illegal border crossings, these developments are both achievements and challenges. What's really happening? Is this the solution to security or a chapter of instability? Click subscribe to follow the latest videos on the U.S. border. After his re-election in 2025, President Trump swiftly turned campaign promises into action. On January 20, 2025, he declared a national emergency, directing the construction of new barriers, deployment of troops, and use of robust legal measures like the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. These moves aim not only to control the border, but also to send a firm message to the international community. One of the most striking changes is the militarization of the border. According to posts on X in April 2025, the Trump administration declared a 60-foot-wide, 700-mile strip along the Roosevelt Reservation from El Paso, Texas to San Diego, California, a military base. This allows the U.S. military, including over 10,000 troops, to detain migrants crossing illegally. More than 50 Stryker armored vehicles, typically used in military campaigns, were deployed to Fort Bliss in El Paso, alongside aviation and engineering units. The Department of Defense also transferred nearly 110,000 acres of federal land to the U.S. Army for the next 3 years, marking a turning point in using military forces for border control. Military aircraft like C-17s and C-130s supported deportation flights, though some countries like Brazil and Mexico resisted. These actions not only reduced crossings but also raised questions about the legality and long-term impact of militarizing a civilian area. The year 2025 saw a rapid restart of border barrier projects. According to the Texas Facilities Commission, Texas completed 61.8 miles of new barriers in Cameron, Starr, Zapata, Webb, Maverick, and Val Verde counties, with a $2.5 billion budget to build another 85 miles. New designs include 30-foot steel bollards, installed in Arizona near Welton starting March 21, 2025, the first project in the area in 4 years. Anti-climb walls. In San Diego, California, barriers use advanced technology to prevent crossings. Normandy vehicle barriers, deployed in El Paso, Texas, to block illegal vehicles. In total, the southwest border now has 669 miles of primary barriers and 65 miles of secondary barriers, with gap-filling projects underway near Nogales, Arizona, and through a private butterfly sanctuary in South Texas. These barriers are not just physical, but integrate surveillance technology, including 563 observation towers, 200 Anduril Industries autonomous surveillance towers, and underground sensors. U.S. Customs and Border Protection data from March 2025 shows significant security gains. Migrant apprehensions. Only 7,181 cases at the southwest border, a 95% drop from 137,473 in March 2024 and 14% lower than 8,346 in February 2025. Drug seizures. CBP seized 760 pounds of fentanyl, a 24% increase from the previous month, with total drug seizures, cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, fentanyl, and marijuana, up 47%. Trade. CBP processed over $352 billion in imports, collecting nearly $15 billion in tariffs. Acting CBP Commissioner Pete Flores emphasized, apprehensions for all of March 2025 were lower than the first 2 days of March 2024, thanks to CBP personnel and new barriers. However, experts from Texas A&M University warn that this reduction may be temporary, as smugglers often adapt routes. The Trump administration implemented tough immigration measures, including Alien Enemies Act. On March 15, 2025, 137 Venezuelans were deported to El Salvador despite court orders, raising concerns about civil liberties. Suspension of CBP-1. This app, which allowed migrants to schedule port of entry appointments, was canceled, leaving many in limbo. Increased detention. ICE is expanding facilities with 4 new 10,000-bed centers, though facing a $2 billion budget shortfall. These policies, along with closing asylum pathways, sparked mixed reactions. Organizations like the ACLU argue that eliminating all asylum opportunities is a violation of post-World War II international commitments. The reduction in crossings and increase in drug seizures are positive signs, meeting many Americans' demands for national security. Posts on X show strong support from some, with comments like, "The border is now a fortress." However, the militarization and massive costs, $376 million for the military since January 2025, raise questions about sustainability. To bridge the divide, the U.S. needs a long-term strategy. 1. Legal immigration reform. Expand programs like the Safe Mobility Initiative to provide safe pathways for migrants. 2. International cooperation. Work with Mexico and Central American countries to address migration's root causes like violence and poverty. 3. Environmental protection. Design wildlife-friendly barriers, such as larger gaps. 4. Transparency. Publicly share data on costs and policy impacts to build trust. The U.S. border expansion in 2025 is a bold move, turning the southern border into a fortress with modern barriers, military presence, and strict policies. The impressive numbers, a 94% drop in crossings and a 47% rise in drug seizures, reflect the Trump administration's resolve, but the environmental, humanitarian, and financial costs cannot be ignored. From militarized strips to anti-climb barriers, the U.S. is rewriting its border story. Is this a lasting solution or a contentious chapter? Join the discussion below to shape the future of border security. This article has utilized reliable sources and perspectives from social media to provide a comprehensive view. For a deeper understanding, readers can refer to statements from DHS, CBP, or reports from Reuters, The Guardian, and WOLA.
A group of among them farm workers who said they'd been picked up from the fields. What do you think of Trump, they were asked. He's really doing a lot of damage. They're likely to be just the vanguard of many more. That country's president offered repatriation